My brother and his wife live in Sarasota, and I was introduced to this art center recently, and they asked if they could have this exhibition. Just prior to coming here, it was at the Manello Museum of American Art in Orlando. And so we've just opened it here, and I couldn't be more delighted as I'm also here doing a 2-day workshop. Yes, these are all people that I've known. Many of them I've been painting for years. This is Lily, who's I've been painting for ever since she was 3.5 years old. She's one of my better young models, and around Charleston, where I live now, South Carolina, I had noticed that there was some graffiti cropping up here and there, and I actually think graffiti can be quite beautiful as long as it's not your building that it's on. But this sort of artfully way that it's done, I wanted to have this menacing background behind this sweet little girl, Lily, here. And of course, in this exhibition, these are all watercolors. And in watercolor, we generally don't use white paint. So where you see on the model where it's the white dress or the white highlight or the little whites in her hair, that's not paint, that's the white paper that we paint around as watercolorists. Most of these individuals I've known for a period of time, but others I've just seen on the street. The one next to me is a fellow that I saw at an outdoor festival. Another one, there's a painting here of a gentleman that worked for Ringling Brothers, and I thought how interesting to paint someone who's a clown, sort of in between being fully made up as the clown and in his civilian clothes. So I actually talked my way backstage and managed to get the sketches and photos and to start the painting of him there. There are other models at different parts of the country. One painting called Flurries of a New Mexico rancher where I stayed for a few days on the ranch and was able to go out while they would be feeding the cattle and the horses. Other paintings that there's a policewoman, a firefighter. The youngest, Lily is probably about the youngest in the collection. Next to her is a painting of a woman from Savannah, Georgia, who is 95 years old. Yes, this is called Glory, and this woman from Savannah, Georgia, agreed to pose for me. And she actually sang some hymns while I was sitting at her feet, and wanted to get this feeling of just a spiritual liftoff. Yes, you know, and most people think of watercolor as being not as intense as oil paintings, but we can get the colors. So I like to use intense colors when possible. The painting of the boxer, there's a fiery red background behind her. In real life, it was just a white wall, but because the feeling I wanted to get, the feeling of heat, intensity, of a boxing trainer sparring with her partner, I changed the background to red there.
Well, let's take a look at it. And is this Lily again?
This is not Lily, but this is one of Lily's friends. And this is actually the one painting in this collection that I actually did from memory. There's a group of women on Johns Island that I've been painting now for almost 25 years that gather every Wednesday. They're Gullah, and they gather to make quilts. And I remember driving down Bohicket Road sometimes and seeing the newly made quilt tops they just washed all out on the clothesline, lifting up into the breeze. And so I wanted that feeling of that moment that the quilts lift up and perhaps her braids are lifting up also. She's a boxing trainer from the Midwest, and who I got to model for me. And so I wanted her to look like she had just gone several rounds with her sparring partner, and you can see that I've just shown just a little bit of him, not too much. You can see he's clearly bigger than she is. I've got him just moving just out of the picture, show just a hint of his boxing gloves. But so the focus is really on her, so it's like the spotlight is really just on her. In a case like this, I would tell the model, this is what I'm looking for, and get them to, of course our first job is to get the model to relax so that they feel comfortable with me doing sketches or taking photographs. And then I told her, this is what I want. I want this feeling that of near exhaustion. You've just gone so many rounds, but you could still handle at least one more. So even just by tilting the head just a little bit gives that slight sense of exhaustion, much different than if your head was completely straight.
But still it comes through, there's that air of confidence.
Yes,
as
absolutely.
well. So,
yeah.
And again, the color in this one is much more evident,
Yes.
in that background.
Yes, all this red, certainly it's a different feeling than if I'd painted the background a light blue. It's a very different painting.
And tell us a little bit, this is the clown in between
Yes,
shows.
this is a fellow from Ringling Brothers, and I managed to talk my way behind the screen there, and I got him to show me what it was like to put on his makeup. So he went from civilian to fully made up clown. And I thought it was the most interesting was that in-between stage where you can see where his face is made up with the white makeup, the red nose, but then he's still in his civilian clothes here. You know, when in the previous painting of the boxer where she's looking right at you, you know that there's almost a defiance about her, and she's engaging the viewer. She's very much aware that you're looking at her. Something like this, I want it to, as though this person is not aware at all that he or she is being looked at by the viewer. Because I think that there's something very different emotionally going on when we don't think that there's somebody looking at us.
Tell us about that eye for detail that you bring to your work.
Well, I think I would describe my works as narrative. In other words, that they tell a story. But none of the paintings are exactly what I saw, but they are indeed what I felt about that moment. And I wanted this feeling of this older woman sitting by herself in her kitchen. This is Georgiana. Georgiana is now in her mid-90s, and I've been painting her for over 20 years. And I could walk to Georgiana's house from where I live. And so I will call her up and say, Georgiana, can I come over? And she's never said no to me. And so every time I go over, I would bring her something. And on this day, I brought her sweet potatoes. And so she would peel the sweet potatoes, and I would sit on the other side of the kitchen and sketch her and start a painting of her. This one I wanted to include some of the aspects of her kitchen, the stove, the fact that there's something, bubbling away on the stove here, some of the items here, but even give it a slight feeling of the contemporary with putting this microwave right behind her. So it dates the painting is right now. I mean, all of these paintings are people right now, and people that largely live their life under the radar, not really. They're not celebrities, they're not people that are well known, but they are people that live out their lives fully, but largely unrecognized by everybody else. I wanted to paint a firefighter, and I realized that we think of them as heroic in what they do, and certainly risking their lives in many ways. But I thought, what if I portrayed one after fighting the fire? And I asked him, what is that like? What does it feel like? And he said, we're exhausted, we're hot, we're sweaty, we're grimy. So I got him to put on his gear for me. And I actually had some charcoal for sketching in my bag. And I took it and I rubbed it on his face so you can get this sort of sootiness. And then I took some water and it's through his hair so he would have that feeling. In real life, he was standing in a parking lot. But I wanted this charred, burnt out feeling. You can see I've pushed him off center here, just the silhouette of a tree that's been burned out, and then just some, a few suggestions of other maybe burnt out remnants of the forest there. Yes, and you can see that I positioned them, I've almost put a dividing line. This one, the officer is looking out this way, this little girl is looking this way, so that it's interesting, they're both in different worlds, moving in different directions. So I try in all of my paintings to portray something that could be stereotypical, you know, as a job of a police officer, but portray it in a way that may be surprising, but also shows the compassion and the humanity of that person. And then this was a lot of fun to paint. This the graffiti on the wall, the cracked concrete was really great fun. I love painting textures. The texture of a concrete wall against the smooth texture of a little girl's skin, or her dress, or the crispness of a pressed uniform.
It's just a wonderful picture. It's very vivid, and it's very hopeful too. You know, you get that sense of hope.
Yes.
Here is this young woman, you know, proud as a police, and this little girl who's perhaps that's in her for the future.
That's right, and that's exactly right. I remember talking with this police officer who said, you know, I asked her, when did you want to become a police officer? And she said, when I was a little girl. So this, you know, this shows the two generations here.
It's wonderful.
Well, I had the idea to paint a tattoo artist, and I had never been into a tattoo parlor, and so I went in, and they're very strange places, you know, with the lighting, the music. So I took my light source and I put it on the ground so the light would shoot up. You could see that it's hitting him underneath his chin, under the nose, and having him look up, and then having this sort of eerie shadow coming up this way. He's holding his equipment, and then this piece of equipment here, how it echoes sort of the shape of the serpentine dragon here.
The beauty of the faces and the humanity of all of these people. This is very expressive. This is a woman at work doing a very difficult job.
Yes.
But it's a very proud picture.
Yes, it is. I think it shows a lot of confidence. She works, she's the postal director at a very small post office, rural post office, and so I asked if she would pose for me, and I also asked, could you be holding the most beat up box that you have? And she said, well, we don't like to show those off too well. But I got her to hold this, and I wanted her placed in front of the design of all this mail behind her, and it showed this confidence and that she truly likes her job. And yet it's not an easy job either.
That'll be tonight.
You know, I hope that when people come to see this exhibit, that they see themselves in it. I mean, that's hence the title, A Portrait of Us.
I'm Carla Neerman. I'm the Executive Director at Art Center Manatee. We are here this evening for an intimate evening with Mary Whyte. A Portrait of Us is the exhibit that we are now exhibiting through February 19th. Mary Whyte is an international painter and instructor that travels the world to share her beauty of art and her love of art to communities such as ours. We are very honored to have her here. Mary Whyte has numerous books. I was exposed to Mary's books probably 4 years ago, and that was this thought that started a seed. And it truly takes a village around here. We had many people working on it and coming together, and through relationships and kind of just asking and asking and asking again, she agreed to come and do a workshop and to exhibit at our center. Absolutely. We were so honored that she was willing to come and share her expertise and her talents with our community and our art community. However, we do have people who have traveled here from 5 different states, plus Canada. I was even asked from someone from Vienna, Austria, who really wanted to get into her workshop. So yes, it's been full for approximately 6 months, and we have a very long waiting list that would love to be in this class that started this morning. The Art Center is 78 years old. We have done many, many different workshops and classes to satisfy those creative needs in our community, and even in this region. We offer silversmithing, pottery, glass. We offer painting, drawing, and all kinds of painting, watercolor, oil, we have basket weaving, we have all different kinds, and we're always trying new things to keep everybody interested and to engage our community. This exhibit is the Florida Suncoast Watercolor Society, and they are a regional group that is also really talented, and they keep raising the bar every year. We do showcase them once a year, and they're a very large group of watercolorists that have joined together, and we have a beautiful example of all different kinds of topics and themes, but all very talented artists. Well, you're absolutely right. We have open shows, and we have curated shows, and we have national shows. Of course, Mary Whyte is a national show. The Florida Suncoast was a jury competition within their group. And we have curated shows that bring together several artists that make a great marriage with their work together. The juried open shows engages our entire region. We have people who submit work from all over and love to get into the competition. Absolutely. Well, first off, we do offer night classes and Saturday classes, and we have classes all through the summer. We have a very, very large summer camp that engages a great deal. We're very proud that we offer a significant amount of scholarships for those who are less advantaged. Our intention is always to try to keep everything reasonably priced so that art can be enjoyed by all. The Art Center is a very special place. It's such a warm community that engages people, they mentor people. We hear stories every day about how people, when they come in this building, they can feel a difference. There's a great deal of warmth. Also, art has great impact on our community. Just the Art Center alone has a $1.7 million impact. As the Bradenton grows and the arts and culture grows, we all know that that attracts people, it attracts businesses. It's really important for our community. This center is very, very unique in that it's the only art center in Manatee County, and it has a beautiful heart. By all means, reach out to us. You can go to our website at www.artcentermanatee.org. Give us a call at 941-746-2862, or feel free to email me personally at carla@artcenter.org. We would love to hear from you. We love to share what we love. Art really fills your soul. Come see us, you'll see what I mean.
We think it's an important duty for us. We educate artists of all age groups. We provide an exhibit space for artists to exhibit their work. You know, where else are they going to do it? And it's wonderful that it is a great art center like this. But we also feel that it is in our mission to educate the community about the visual arts and provide the cultural richness that an art center can provide to the community. The Art Center started almost 80 years ago. In 1937, a group of artists got together. They came down here for the winter and they wanted a place to be able to practice their craft and to learn new things. We provide the same opportunity now, but it's not just about the artists, although we love them dearly and we have so many talented artists in this area. It's about giving them an opportunity to show their work and to introduce the community to their work.
Exactly.
Our classes are a vital part of what we do, but we have our exhibitions change monthly. They are all juried exhibitions, so you can be assured that the quality of the work is going to be high quality. I think one of the most fun days for anyone in this 5-county area is to come to the Art Center, see one of the latest shows, walk the Riverwalk, get a little exercise. The Riverwalk is just a block away, and then come to downtown Bradenton for some lunch or dinner. It's a nice experience. The theater is just down the street, another block. So this is a rich area for that provides a great outing, day outing experience for anyone in the region. We think it is a jewel, and it is the one that really focuses on the visual arts. We have other places that focus on other pieces of art, the performing arts. The Village is a wonderful community of artists, but this is kind of the center for the visual arts. We've been voted #1 in the Art Center for this county for several years. It's a jewel. We think it's important, and it has such a history. Again, it suits our mission. Our students and artists in the area love it because they can see a master and have her explore, give her perspectives on what painting at the master level is like. But it also gives our community members a chance to see museum quality art in a place that's close to home. I think this is there are not many venues where you can come and celebrate the visual arts. And everything from pottery to jewelry to painting of all media. This is a center that is warm and welcoming. It's right in downtown Bradenton, and I think it's certainly worth a visit. We try to do stops in all of the counties, but this should be on that route to visit for the visual arts.